Hello, hello, and hello, hello, and hello, hello. I was going to say hello and welcome, but I was going to say hello and welcome to Coffee and Headlines. This is not Coffee and Headlines. This is the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight. This is our weekly broadcast where we invite local event organizers to talk about their upcoming events, tell us more insights about what they're up to that can be conveyed through regular advertising or press releases or word of mouth. Here is the one place where you can step onto the spotlight and have a conversation with me and answer questions from the audience so that we can find out more about what your event is all about. And most importantly, to let us know why we should attend. And that sounds like a cocky statement, but with so many things going on in Puerto Vallarta at any given time and with so little attention span, and that's not a criticism, we're all scattered all over the place. It really is important to know why events matter, why going to things is important. And that's what we try to get to here at the Spotlight. Today is episode 9, and I have good news and not so good news. The good news is that this is actually the not so good news is that we don't have any interviewees today. And that is unfortunate, but again, um, nobody signed up. But the good news is that that gives me the opportunity to talk about my own events, which I have, and I want to tell you about them. Although, if you watch Coffee and Headlines in the morning, you probably already know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. And most importantly, today I want to address a casual comment that was made by one of my closest friends in town. And she says, well, maybe people are not wanting to go to the spotlight or be interviewed because they think there is a catch. So, what is the catch about coming onto the spotlight to be interviewed by yours truly? Well, today we are going to answer that very important question. I would cut to the chase, but I won't. I'll leave the suspense. What is the catch? What do I gain from making this space available for event organizers to come and share information about what they are doing? I'll answer that in a bit. But first, since it's me, I want to tell you about music appreciation, things that I have planned for the near future. Of course, it's the summer months, but that doesn't mean that we stop being inspired about music. As you know, or maybe you don't know, well, most people watching live know, but if you watch the broadcast later on, you may not know that I have been doing music appreciation presentations for some time here in town. And my project is called Paco Ojeda on Music. It has its own Facebook page, although I frequently mentioned everything that I'm doing right on my morning broadcast page as well, just to keep people connected. Oh, and if I didn't say this before, if at any point you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I will answer them in a little while. And back to Paco Ojeda on Music. Well, this is my project, and I want to tell you a little bit about the music appreciation presentations that I have lined up for the rest of May, June, and the beginning of July. Our first presentation is called Blame It on the Bossa Nova, and it is going to take place on Thursday, May 23rd at 5 o'clock. All these presentations are at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work in Colonia Emiliano Zapata, and it is a very wonderful air-conditioned space where we can listen to music and enjoy videos and audio snippets without distraction. And that is part of the fun of what we do. Now, for this upcoming presentation, I already put together a little promo video. I would like to share it with you right
with your friends.
Oh, so that is my own self authored promotional video on my next presentation, Blame It on the Bossa Nova. The following one after that is a little bit of an adventure for me. I figured all these conversations that are going on about artificial intelligence and whether it's useful or not. So one day I just asked ChatGPT, okay, ChatGPT, tell me what are the 10 most important classical music masterworks? And ChatGPT told me its top picks. And that's exactly what my first presentation in June is going to be about. We are going to discuss an aspect, because we cannot really get into everything on the same day. We're going to discuss an aspect of 10 works of music that ChatGPT or artificial intelligence thinks are the most important out there. And I can tell you what they are. And they are Beethoven Symphony Number 9, Mozart Symphony Number 40, Bach's Brandenburg Concerti, and there are 6 of those. Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, Beethoven Symphony Number 5, Vivaldi's The Four Seasons, Mozart's Requiem Mass, which we just unpacked not too long ago, Dvorak's Symphony Number 9, his New World Symphony, and last but not least, Beethoven's Piano Sonata Number 14, which includes that Moonlight First movement that everybody knows. Now, in some cases, we are probably going to dive into the music itself. In other cases, we may venture into the historical context that was going on at the time the composers wrote their works. One way or another, my personal goal with this presentation is, what can I bring to the table that'll get you tempted or curious to go to Spotify and listen to these works? Was it going to be the music? Is it going to be the context of the composer? Is it going to be a particularly funny or weird version of the works? So I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Again, this is on Thursday, June 6th at 5 o'clock. Then on the second half of June, we're getting close to 4th of July, and 4th of July, at least in the United States, means new blockbuster releases, and I always get excited about that. And I want to talk again about the sound of movies and dive into the whole story or the history of sound in film, which I think is something that we take for granted. I don't care how good our hi-fi system is at home or how great the sound is at the movie theater. We don't think about everything that goes on into adding music to a film or adding sound effects and all that stuff. So this presentation is going to be a lot about that. All the wonderful work and the creative work that goes into creating an immersive soundscape, the kind that we get to enjoy today when we go to the films, but the kind that was not existent at the beginning of the 20th century. And then at the beginning of July, we are going to go into tropical mood. We're going to talk about mambo in Mambo Madness. This is going to be on Thursday, July 11th. And this is going to be a little bit of the history of mambo in general and Pérez Prado, Damaso Pérez Prado in particular. Pérez Prado was the name that people associate with mambo. He was the guy with the most popular orchestra. He came from Cuba to Mexico, established here. Then he was kicked out of the country by the Mexican government for the most hysterical reason. And we're going to dive into that in my presentation. And we're going to talk about mambo. We may talk a little bit about mambo, the dance, but the music I find so delicious that I think there's going to be enough there for us to enjoy a comfortable hour and a half listening to music and unpacking some of those videos. And that is exactly what I have in mind for the next month and a half. Let me clear my throat really quickly. Oh, that felt good. So, if at any point you have any suggestions on on music related ideas that you'd like to see covered in my presentations, I would love to hear about these. And now I want to talk about the spotlight and and answer this question that my dear friend Michal shared with me. And she says maybe people think that there's a catch. Um, is there a catch? The answer is no, there is no catch. Why am I doing the spotlight? For a couple of reasons. First of all, because my morning broadcast is very interested in hearing from other people. So I figured doing interviews in the spotlight is an easy way to bring content over to Coffee and Headlines the following day or things like that. Number one. Number two, I see what goes on out there in terms of promotional options for people that do events. And and I'm not going to criticize the other options. Different venues, different outlets offer different choices that range from word of mouth to ads on printed media to posters to article write ups. But I don't see a lot of opportunities where the creators or the event producers themselves have a forum where they can compel people. Like when I go to places and I go to things, I want to know from the horse's mouth. Okay, why is your event amazing? What's it, what is it going to be about? What are you going to do, et cetera, et cetera? I think last week we had a great such interview when we were talking about Hedwig and the Angry Inch, the show that is presently performing at the Palm. So what I thought is, coffee and not coffee and headlines. The spotlight allows event organizers to tantalize us directly about what they're doing. Um, am I making money? No, I'm not making any money, at least not yet. Eventually, I would like that the number of people that tune in is such that I can make a dent in my YouTube earnings. And as you know, my morning show has community sponsors, community partners, and I can hopefully at some point monetize like that. I would never charge an event organizer to come and talk about their event here because I'm an event producer and I know how difficult it is to get the word out there. If anything, I think I'm losing money. Not directly, but the time that it takes for me to promote and mention this is time that I could easily invest doing other things. But I don't want that to sound like a complaint. I do realize that this project is going to be slow to take off, but I did want to clarify there is no catch. There might be a learning curve. You do need to know how to get online from your end. You need to know how to use a webcam or maybe go to a co-work or go to a cyber, a place where there's a good internet connection. You do need to connect that way. But there is no catch. I've even thought about maybe setting up the spotlight as a pre-recorded show and setting up the taping in a central location so that people that want to share their message can do so by showing up and just having an interview in person. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm done with a throat cleaning. But again, that takes time for me to go and set up my studio somewhere else and bring lights and bring microphones. It takes time, and that's why I'm doing it directly from home. And that's the reality of it. Am I going to stop doing this the spotlight? No, because even though it takes time to set it up every week, I do get inquiries through email, people that ask me, well, can I talk about this or talk about that, or do I need this or do I need that? So I do have faith that in time the spotlight will grow and will be increasingly successful. And between now and then, I will continue to be eternally grateful for your word of mouth, for you spreading the word, and I will continue to promote it to the best of my ability without taking time and effort away from my other projects that are already in place that you so generously support. So that is the spotlight in a nutshell. And now that I've gotten that out of my chest, let me take a quick look at your comments just to see if there are any questions you may have about events, about anything. Maybe there's somebody here that is watching that wants to promote something. And if you want to promote something, we can give it a go. I can give you the code so that you can enter the stream and we can try to make this happen. Although I usually prefer to do a sound and video check ahead of time. But I am grateful that Karen is watching from Minnesota. I'm grateful that Betsy Ann is here and watching. Betsy is one of my favorite people in the music appreciation presentations because she's always there, and I am so grateful for your company and your insight and all your wonderful questions, Betsy. I wish I had a glass of Cabernet in my hand, but I had my wine earlier with a friend that I went to visit. I am happy to see Luisa, who I'm going to see in Guadalajara in a couple of months for great concerts. Hello, Renee. Hello, Mihal. And hello, Dale. Dale is my crochet partner in crime. We hook together when time allows. And see, this makes my day. Thank you very much, Betsy. I bought my ticket for Hedwig as a direct result of your interview with the lead actor last week on Spotlight. That is what the Spotlight is about. That is what the Spotlight is about. Again, not to shame any other source of publicity or choice in advertising, but I think I'm not alone in saying that when you hear it from the people that are putting it together, it's very exciting. And one more thing, maybe there are event organizers out there that don't speak English. Well, I speak Spanish. So if you speak Spanish and you want me to help you by translating, we can certainly do that. And that is pretty much the spotlight for today. I don't want to take more of your time, but what I'm going to do is what I always do. As soon as the show is over, I start setting up the new links to watch the next spotlight, the one that is coming a week from today. And yes, we do need to generate new links, unfortunately, for every week, and also for people to register. So tomorrow morning on the show notes for Coffee and Headlines, you will find the new links to watch next week. And if you are an event organizer, you will find the link for you to register. Again, it's free, no catch. It's simply me wanting to create connections wherever possible. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for believing in this project. And I'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee and Headlines. Take care.